Hello, guys. I hope everybody's doing fine out there. This is, welcome to episode 14 of Psycho's, Platters, and a CD. The last episode of the year. Yeah, 2012. Pretty much, as far as for music-wise is concerned, I did all right. It could have been a lot better as far as for vinyl finds were concerned. In fact, I only ended up with, what was it? Maybe about four times did I find anything this year, as far as for garage sales, resale shops, and stuff. At least major-wise. I mean, I found little piddly here, a little piddly there. But let's see here. Let's get cracking a little bit here. Literally, 90% of this stuff that I'm showing you was found within the last week at a couple different resale shops and other haunts that I happened to go. Let's get started with some 45s that I pulled up. How about this one, huh? Blondie, The Tide is High, and yeah, I know I can't sing. Off of Auto-American, that's right, from 1980. Good stuff on this one, actually. I love Deborah Harry. Former Playboy bunny, go figure. She originally got started, though, back in 1968 in a band called Wind in the Willows, and they cut an album for Capitol Records. Go figure. If you can find it, go for it. I heard it was reissued in the late 70s, so I'm assuming 1968. Hopefully original ones will be on the black label with the rainbow edge, or at least the green capital. I'm not entirely sure. Hey. Annette. Yes. I was just talking to my buddy Doug about these today. This one happens to be on the Vista label. Pretty clean. I mean, okay, there's a slight scratch or two, but generally pretty clean on this one, too. Remember Sarah? We were talking about this song, weren't we? Like a couple episodes ago. VH1's crappiest 80s song of all time. Yeah, what can I say? And then, of course, the back. Yeah, that's right. They're still jumping like fools. What do you expect, right? What do you expect for 85? Let's see. Grace Slick, Pete Sears, Mickey Thomas, Craig Chiquito, and Donnie Baldwin. All were in that particular lineup as well. Hey. Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Yeah, Daryl John Hall Oates, Maneater. From the album H2O, that's right. That's right. Of course, typical black RCA. I gotta confess, I didn't know that there was a picture sleeve for this one. Stevie Wonder's Sir Duke from 78. Okay? This is the front. And the back is the lyrics in case you want to sing along. I got to tell you, this is one of my favorite Stevie late 70s tunes because I like Stevie Wonder, but in my opinion, 1980s Master Blaster was about the last good song from him. I'm sorry. I didn't really care for Part-Time Love, and Overjoy is okay, but the rest of it, that's what I say. Aha! Take on me. You know how that one goes. The video was goofy. Remember Family Guy? They went and made fun of that one. Jay Ferguson from Spirit. Thunder Island. I love this tune. It's one of my faves. You know, Spirit's one of my favorite bands. Guess what, though? If you don't know this, Jay Ferguson did movie soundtracks in the 80s and 90s, and he also did the theme music for the show The Office. That's him. He's the one that did that one. Hey, look, it's Annette again on Disneyland with Tall Paul. Well, I wish I was tall. You know, I'm only 5'11", kids. One of the most depressing songs, Michael Johnson's Bluer Than Blue. But it's a good tune, though. It's a good tune. I heard he, what was it? My friend Tim Smith went and saw him a couple years ago up in Rockford. He did a small show, an outdoor show in Rockford. Randy Newman, sure people got no reason. Yeah, you know the rest of it. I like this one. Okay. This one here, I picked up at a record store. Pretty decent find for me anyway. What's this, you say? Well, this is the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. The original English pressing. Okay? In England, they did not release this as an album. This was actually released as a double EP. England still made EPs, extended plays, 4 songs, usually a piece on each 7-inch piece of vinyl. Until I want to say late 68, early 69. I mean, I know they still make EPs to this day. I've seen them at Record Store Day and all that, but generally that's kind of when they stopped doing it for most of the bands. So this was pretty neat to be able to find this. The front and the back look exactly like the the American version. Now, I know you're not going to be able to see this really well. This is what the inside looks like. Okay? I'll show you a little bit here. EMI, Parlophone, company sleeve, with your black label. Very nice, in my opinion. These were in, well, decent shape. It's not mint. I probably would take this as a VG or something tops on it, but the point of the matter is I really couldn't pass this up. I really couldn't. Of course, it's giving me issues. And of course, they have their own little, how should I say this, pockets, right? I'm only going to show you about a page or two of this, but it comes with a 24-page booklet. Okay, this is pretty much one of them here. One of my favorite picks right there. Point of the matter is, really decent shape for what I picked it up for. Okay, album-wise. Right? Different record shop. Twisted Sister. Is that a Twisted Sister pin I see on your uniform? Well, you know what? This is Under the Blade, ladies and gentlemen, 1982. Yeah, the first thing they ever did before they even got famous. On Secret Records, which was, if I remember correctly, this is the very first pressing of it, because Atlantic ended up reissuing it. Don't they look like something? I know, the shine kind of screws up a little bit because it's in the plastic. All right, you know, I know all your record collecting people out there have at least one or two heartthrob goof-up stories or whatever. You get half excited when you find something in a bin. Okay? And then this happens to you. Now, here's an example right here. I picked this up. That's right. Buddy Holly's story on Coral Records. 1959. Words are on the back. Explains the whole entire story because this, of course, was released after Buddy's death. So why am I upset? There was no record. There's no record. I found it with no record. I wish there was a record. It's not the first time I've ever, well, found a record sleeve without a record. But guess what? They gave it to me for free at the place I was at. I'll do something with it. I'll pin it up or something. The biggest mistake, it was rookie mistakes, for me. I went to a garage sale one time in Harvard, Illinois, where I lived. It was wet, it was rainy. It was just down the street from where I lived, actually. And it was kind of funny because there was a box of albums, but most of them were either without the albums in just the sleeves or the other way around. I didn't realize at the time that I found James Brown's Please, Please, Please album, the cover only with the white woman and her legs on the staircase. If you know what I'm talking about, good. If you don't, Google what I'm talking about, because the fact of the matter is that particular album cover was recalled. It was a first pressing, and if you had that album cover with your album and it was in near mint condition, you could get $1,000 for it, and half of the value was because of that cover. I'm told it was only on the marketplace 30 days, and it was yanked back in 1962, 63, one of those 2 years. And I found the cover. I was really stupid. I should have grabbed it, because when I went back after realizing my mistake, it was gone along with the rest of the box. So, not brought to you by Waffle House. Duke Ellington and his orchestra in a mellow tone. Now, let's see. My friend Doug told me that I should be able to... Oh, there we go. Okay, Doug, this is from 56. Okay, that's your answer here. 1956, with the RCA sleeve in it, in your typical black. This is beautiful condition, actually. I'm not kidding you. This is near mint stuff I've got here. It's of early 40s recordings. The Astronauts, From You, For You, From Us. Now this one here, that was 1965, by the way, and Surfing with the Astronauts, 1963, both in mono. I don't know if any of you people know who the Astronauts are. The Astronauts was a early 60s band that was formed in Pueblo, Colorado. Go figure. It was a land-based surf rock band. They were around pretty much from 1962 to 68, and then they kind of, well, disappeared for about 30-something years and reunited briefly. Unfortunately, a couple of the members are dead. But you know what? They have some good stuff. Baja was good, and a few other things. I went and Googled this. It turns out that most of their albums are available on CD again. So go snag some. Either that or go listen to them on YouTube. Here's one for you. I just got it just because. Joey Heatherton. Anybody remember her in the 60s, early 70s? She's cute. I mean, I wish I would have known about her. Okay, on MGM, nevertheless. And this is the label, Doug. I know you were asking about this. It's the swirly type, green and gold, is where this one was from. Also, because I like, I am a former disc jockey on radio. I like to find things from time to time. Television's greatest hits. Gives you a timeline for what's on here. It's a double album set, and it pretty much covers about, I don't know. I want to say, let's see, 35, 53. You got 70 different TV themes on here from the 50s, 60s, and all the way up to the early 80s. Good job on that, too. Also, here's another jazz one, The Touch of Eddie Haywood from 1958. I'm not really a big jazz fanatic, but these things were so clean. I couldn't pass them up. Here's another one. On Liberty, the T-Bones, No Matter What Shape Your Stomach's In. Now, I'm told, based on what this says here, is that the Stomach's In was a TV commercial for Alka-Seltzer, at least back in the mid-60s. The guy back here wrote his name in red, what do you want to call it? Crayon? Slightly? I'm going to guess. January 1966 is when he bought this, so I'm assuming it was in 65. It was a big commercial. Pussycats. That's right. 1974. Harry Nilsson, John Lennon producing. And he's all over this thing. So's Ringo. Let's see, who else here? Ringo's on here. Keith Moon from The Who, he's on here too. A bunch of different people on this thing. Who else? Klaus Vorman from Manfred Mann, also a friend of the Beatles. Jesse Ed Davis, Sneaky Pete Kleinkow from Flying Burrito Brothers at one point or another. Let's see here. Bobby Keys, of course, played sax with the Stones. Jim Keltner used to play on a bunch of solo stuff for the Beatles. Let's see. Anybody else here really? For Harry Nilsson to land all these people, not a surprise, but pretty cool as well. He does a bunch of different weird ones here. Save the Last Dance for Me, Subterranean Homesick Blues. Yeah, he covered a Dylan one too. Go figure. Yeah, pretty much looks like about right here. But lots of fun on this here too. And let's see. This is a gatefold. What's the gatefold? Yeah. Oh, it's your lyrics, pretty much. Story goes about this particular album. RCA was getting ready to dump Harry. And Harry kind of sort of knew it a little bit. And him and John went to the RCA building, wherever the president of the label was. And it was kind of funny because he just brought him along because there was supposed to be some little contract negotiation type thing. And the president of the RCA went off and had to leave the room for some reason for a few minutes. So Harry and John start pillaging through his desk. And Harry discovers a termination contract for his services that were no longer going to be needed at RCA. That was that I think was the reason for the meeting. It's just Harry didn't know that. So Harry and John concocted a plan very quickly before the president even bothered to come back in, where the president came back in. Harry goes off and says, reason why I brought John Lennon was because Apple Records is just about ready to dissolve and John needs a new label. And John acted along with this, and the president was like drooling all over the place. It's like, ooh, a Beatle. I'd love to sign a Beatle. And so he pretty much ready to do that. And the catch is that John Lennon went off and he said, well, there's one condition. He goes, Harry, I got to produce Harry's album. Harry's got to, I want to work with them. So it was kind of funny that RCA basically quickly gave Harry Nilsson a renewal contract instead of a termination contract, thinking that they had John Lennon, when in reality all John Lennon did was produce this album, which, I hate to admit this, for sales-wise it was the worst-selling Nilsson album in that decade anyway. They tried, didn't they? They tried. Let's see, some quick autograph stuff. When I met Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers a few years ago, just once in my life, on Phil S. Also back-to-back, Go Ahead and Cry on Verve. And lastly, a Moonglow release. This is new. He was a very nice guy. I really wish I could have met Bobby Hatfield before he died. Would have even been better yet. My CD for the week. A couple years ago, he put this out. Bill Medley's Going Home. I think it was like 2009. I want to say this was put out. Used to be able to get it at Walmart. Currently, they don't have it there anymore. You have to get it from Bill Medley's website or Amazon.com or CD Baby. That wasn't a commercial. It's just a basic truth. Everybody take care. Oh, one last thing I want to recommend really quick. A really good radio show that is out there. If you are on Facebook, please go off and add The Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. Really good, entertaining show. It is live on Sunday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. If you're out in that direction, figure out your own time zone. Him, the commander, everybody is really good. They know what they're talking about. Very entertaining, and they have tons of interviews and specials during the year. I just became, a couple months ago, a new fan. They are based out of Syracuse, New York, out of WVOA. Wonderful show. Yes, that's my shout out to Ronnie Dark. Subscribe and listen, please. Till next week, take care and God bless.